And here we are again, 2 out of 3. Jonathan will join us later, but I'm joined by Sir Robert Cooper. How are you?
I'm very well. Looking forward to we've now in the UK, jumping has sort of taken top spot. Big meeting at Cheltenham tomorrow, 3-day meeting, starts on Friday through till Sunday. But it's pretty good. It's early season, and there's some very, very, very good racing on the all weather on the flat.
Yeah, there is. And we're hoping to be joined by a couple of other people just now, but due to logistics issues, we thought we'd get going because
Yeah,
two of those people have really got nothing to talk about on the flat at Newcastle. But we could talk about the two listed races, I think.
they're great, aren't they? They're very good. They've been run over the years at Lingfield.
Yeah.
And first time they're running it at Newcastle, which I think probably, I don't know what you think, I think it's probably the fairest, the best of Newcastle and Southwell are the two of the best all-weather tracks in the country, I think.
Um, best from a result and horse perspective, yes.
I mean, Lingfield, it's a short straight. You've got to be in the right
Correct.
position on that home turn. If you run wide into the home straight at Lingfield,
Yeah.
you're done for, aren't you?
Yeah.
Really?
The only difference is for us, we've got to do 900 miles to get to Newcastle.
Yeah, I know. I've done. I tell you, I've done
And,
it a few times, and it's an absolutely soul-destroying trip.
and take an interpreter with.
Yeah, and you've got to take a t-shirt in all weathers.
100%. So, but the first race, I really like that first race, Robert.
Yeah.
Um,
What grabs your attention there? I mean, Dubai Honor is he won a couple of Group Ones in Australia last year, and he's a very good horse in the spring. Um, he's got a Group One penalty, which is never easy to overcome, but he's the class horse in the race, I'd say.
he is. I mean, he's got more miles than a recovery vehicle.
He has, but do you think that goes against him or not?
No, I've just, it's just an observation. I don't, well, he's obviously not going to be inconvenienced schlepping up to Newcastle. He
How
did
many
very
times?
well in Australia, as you've mentioned. Um,
He's run 26 times. I mean, that's a lot of air miles, really. Where if you've got a horse like the Gosdens have got Peaceman, who's run, I think, seven, this is his eighth race. So, much more unexposed, plenty of potential as well. Hasn't done it at this sort of level. Ran well last time at Newmarket, but, you know, form in the book belongs to Dubai Honor.
the form definitely belongs to Dubai Honor. The weight, the 7 pounds, and
Never easy.
that brings him in. And it's a bit of a South African thing, this, Robert, but we love, love, love third after a run after a rest, third run after a gelding. We love that kind of thing in
Do
South Africa.
you?
Yeah,
I can sort of see where you're coming from there because
it's a
obviously
big thing.
the run is needed.
Yeah, funnily enough, digressing a little bit, I've been here for 25 years, and when I first got here, I couldn't work out that the Racing Post did not publish gelding operation.
Well, they didn't in those days, did they?
Yeah, no, they didn't. And whereas in South Africa, we have always published gelding operations because they deemed to be an important part of information.
Where do you stand on that? Usually they say it's the second run after a gelding operation or a second run after a wind operation. They just need that run under their belt.
Yeah, so I am, but look, training methods are different in South Africa to over here. So I get that. I am a believer that from a form perspective, I understand that, um, and from an ownership perspective, I understand that horse as an operation, whether it be wind or gelding, then the horse gets eased back, takes a couple of 3 weeks off or whatever, gets eased back into training, brought up to fitness, and then peaks. And quite often, the reason for a peak is maybe not, in my opinion, necessarily linked to the operation, but the target. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yep.
So Gosden probably would have wanted this horse to be ready for this race, as opposed to
Yeah, he's had a couple of runs, hasn't he? He ran at Newmarket, and
Yeah,
had a couple of runs at Newmarket, and he only got beaten a nostril last time. Literally, it was
yes.
absolutely minuscule, um, and that was probably a step up on his first run. So yeah, you're right. Yeah,
He probably had this listed on and therefore he's given him a prep. The horse didn't run for 470 days, which is quite a long time. He's come back, giving him a look-see.
and he gets for £7 from Dubai Honor.
He gets the £7. So is there much between the two of them? Probably not. I don't know. What were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking Dubai Honor just probably had a bit too much class for the rest of them, despite the weight. I mean, he's a very classy horse, and also I always like trainers. I mean, Gosden's in good form, but Haggis's horses are absolutely running riot at the moment.
Yeah, he's on fire. Hey? What do you think of this Adam Farragut?
He's good. I think he's good. I think he's very good. He's very loyal, isn't he, Haggis? I mean, all the lads that have been with
Yeah.
him from the word go are still there. Young Kieran Fallon is still there. He rode that very big winner over in Australia, despite,
Yeah, for Tony Bloom.
yeah, apart
Yeah.
from being banned for about 5 years afterwards.
Money goes to money, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's appealed for that. But I think no, I think Adam Farah is good. He's very good.
Okay, so Robert, let's give the viewers a selection. What are you going with?
Well, I'm going to go Dubai Honor. I've gone through it. It's part of my Saturday Yankee I'm doing tomorrow,
Oh,
and
okay.
Dubai Honor is the first leg of that.
Yeah, you'll certainly get a run for your money. There's no doubt about that. He's run on the all weather before. Yeah,
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's on the all
he's
weather.
versatile, isn't he?
He's
He
very
really
versatile
is.
indeed. I think he's got a great chance. He's won from two on the all weather. He's only run a couple
Yeah.
of times.
I
And
mean, he's run at Maidan, this horse. He's run at Charlotte. I mean, this is just a different.
yeah, and winning a couple of Group Ones in the spring in Australia. I mean, that,
Yeah.
that's good form. He's well travelled, isn't he?
Yeah, so I tend to be in agreement with you. I think Dubai Honor's a really good bet tomorrow. Um, Stable's in form. Jockey's a good rider.
Yeah.
I don't think the £7 is sufficient for Peaceman.
Terranian Sea is a horse I quite like, but I'm not convinced about him for tomorrow. Really,
Yeah,
He won at Lingfield on New Year's Eve, and he comes back after him. He hasn't run since running him the Winter Derby in February. I mean, he must be a little bit rusty.
yeah. I'll tell you the interesting runner for me. Just
Don't
if
say the Foxes.
no, I won't say the Foxes. If you're going to take a few um, forecasts or exactors or something along those lines, and I see it's drifted a bit, but this I remember this horse Claymore. And I see that they finally gelded it. And I just 25-1 to me just looks like the wrong price. And this is a horse that's campaigned as well. They've taken this horse to Deauville.
Yeah,
I wouldn't imagine Jane has too many horses in her.
I always give Jane Chapel-Hyam's horses a second look because she's a hell of a
Yeah,
good trainer. Hell of a good
yeah,
trainer.
she's a really, really good trainer. And this is his first run after a gelding. He hasn't run for 176 days. Um, Maybe a couple of swingers, as we call them in South Africa, or exactors, or if you're taking a trifecta, add him in. But I think you're right. Dupont is a good bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a leap of faith, I think, Claymore. I mean, he won.
Yeah, yeah, of
He's
course,
very
of course.
close. Yeah, but it's possible. Definitely possible.
Yeah, 100%. Right, let's.
Gunners cutting loose. This is what we've been waiting for. Unicorn Lion being grabbed by Dubai Honor and Animo in the middle. It's Dubai Honor hitting the lead from Animo. They beat off Unicorn Lion, but Dubai Honor is drawing clear, and William Haggis has done it again. Dubai Honor by 3 lengths to Animo. Mawunga rattling home into
Move to the sprint, the next race, the listed.
Oh, I like it a lot.
Oh, I like it a lot. Winner, winner, chicken dinner coming for our viewers.
Yeah, I like Night Raider here, unbeaten on the all-weather. Carl Burke's horse. Oisin Murphy is booked to ride. Won a conditions race at Kempton last time, Class 2 race. Beat quite a good yardstick horse of, I don't know if it's still with Charlie Hills, Equilateral. Anyway, that was good form. Third run since coming off having a wind up. Unbeaten on the all-weather, 3 from 3. I think Night Raider is one to get stuck into, really.
Yeah, big price, eh? 4-1.
Yeah, I think it's an enormous price. They've made Anaf the favourite. You've got last year's winner in it as well,
Yeah.
Willem Twee of James Fanshaw's, who's not in such good form as last year. Last year was in cracking form, had won the time before, but I think Night Raider's got so many boxes are ticked, as they say. But I think he's irresistible.
I think Night Raider's a big runner. I do agree with you, Robert. I At 4-1, I'd definitely be a player. Anything shorter, I'd be struggling. I'll tell you why. I mean, this it's just the way I look at things. Like, but he hasn't really ever done well in big fields, so.
Do you call this big? I suppose 10 runners or so, isn't it? So
Yeah,
13 runners.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he is drawn towards the Dream Highway on the
He is
stand
drawn
side.
towards the highway, correct. And he's
If
a
he
horse
was
that likes
drawn,
to
if he
roll
was
in
drawn in
front.
single figures, I'd be a bit worried. But he's got a great draw.
Yeah. And I mean, he does like to roll. So
Yeah.
I think he's a runner. 4-1, probably a good place bet.
So what do you like then? There's a danger.
I like Orn. Is that how
Okay.
you say it? Orn,
Orn, yeah, a Gosden one.
the Gosden one. Again, well, another horse that's coming back from a gelding. Showed tremendous potential as a young horse, really did. And
Hasn't done a lot this year, really.
done nothing, absolutely nothing. But I mean, stables really turned the corner, has got fairly decent-ish all-weather form, has run on the all-weather, and I think this horse could be running at them at the finish. But I'm with Night Raider, definitely. From a place perspective, I think O'Sheen will bounce this horse out. It's a horse that shows pace. It'll lead, and it should hold on. We're still waiting for our guests. Where are you? I want to ask, let's do the little bit of housekeeping here. Where are you on this? Okay, I'll go first. Where are you on this ridiculous 500,000 for jockeys?
I read that this morning. I thought it was April the 1st early on. I mean, it's ridiculous, really, because
I didn't know you were going to say that. I really didn't. I think sometimes I'm the only one who sees things a certain way.
500,000, 500,000. No wonder they think it's a good idea, because there are only about two or three who can win it.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely mental. Honestly, I get that it's news and whatever, but here's the worst part, Robert. A new jockeys competition aimed at boosting audience engagement.
Well, it wouldn't increase my engagement. I think all these things, racing is about one horse against another, quite honestly. That's all it is. All this thing about, we've had team sports during the summer. We have this racing league thing, which is quite competitive, but it's just a load of nonsense as far as a league is concerned. It's not a team game, and it's not. Well, this isn't a team game. This is an individual game, and on the jumps, it's either going to be Harry Cobden or one of the top 4 or 5 jockeys. They're absolutely guaranteed to win it. So what? They've got enough money anyway.
I really. We have a saying in Portuguese: God gives nuts to those with no teeth. And I often wonder if people just get put in these positions and then just go, well, yeah, I think we should be planting palm trees at the furlong pole because it's going to give us the feeling of summer. And somebody goes, yeah, great idea. Just order them.
Well, and also, I mean, it starts tomorrow, so someone probably dreamt it up yesterday, do you think?
Do you want to get, hey, if you are in racing and you want to get audience engagement, take the 500,000, hire 10 people to go around and tell stories about the horses.
Yeah.
What they've been through, their colics, their operations, their bought for 1,000 and running for 100,000, bought by 7 people in a pub in Wales. Tell those bloody stories.
I mean, the people who are watching ITV, they're engaged in racing anyway, but you're not going to get new people coming into racing because, oh, look at that, it was a £500,000 prize for the top jockey of the I don't know.
Oh, I'll tell you what I'll rather do. Let me watch Carlton Palmer because he's getting 200,000 a week.
Yeah, he still looks miserable though, doesn't he?
Does look miserable.
I've never seen such a miserable chap, and he's so talented as well.
Yeah, well, listen, maybe God
How about England beating Greece last night 2-0?
Well,
3-0, was it?
honestly, you don't want to talk about that, surely.
Okay. No, I don't really. No, I don't really like
it. That's not really an achievement, is it, to be honest?
Well, no. No, forget that. But it's, as we're talking about stupid things like the 500,000 thing, there was someone who suggested the other day to get the most accurate going report, they ought to have an ex-jockey on a horse riding round the track so they could say whether it's good or good to firm.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, I think
that's a brilliant idea.
And I think if you are a jury adjudicating on your house getting broken into, you should have your house broken into first, just so that you can have a true, genuine opinion on what it feels like.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the crazy idea of the week. It doesn't deserve any more.
Correct. Right, let's move to Cheltenham. We're waiting for the guys to come. But let's do Cheltenham because it is exciting, Robert. And for the South Africans out there, you guys don't actually really know how big jump racing is. And if you ever get an opportunity, if you've got a bucket list of sporting things to do in your life, then attending the Cheltenham meeting has to be one of them.
It's a completely...
I do recommend, though, that you get a mortgage first, because it's now £7.80 a pint, 70 quid to get in. Yeah, and it'll be busy.
And if your car, and if it's wet and your car gets stuck, they charge you another 50 quid to get it out again.
Get it out, yeah. Apart from that, it's a fantastic day. No, but it is a fantastic day, and the roar of the crowd.
There's nothing like it, really.
Unbelievable. So it officially kicks off tomorrow. We start in the 12:35, Robert, with the JCB Triumph trial. Now, for those that are watching for the first time, the JCB Triumph Hurdle is for me, the bang race of Cheltenham, right? Am I right? It's always the first race.
It's the first race on the Gold Cup day.
Fantastic race. And used to be won by National Hunt horses, can now be won by ex-flat horses.
Yeah. I've got one in my racing club. We've got one running at Fontwell on Sunday.
Wow.
And the syndicate is called Cheltenham is the Target, which is a most dangerous thing to call it. It's an ex-Andrew Bull. It's a horse called Belcama. But anyway, we'll talk about, if it wins, I'll talk about it next week.
Perfect. Right. So this is the Triumph trial.
Yeah.
Again, South African viewers, the fact that it says juvenile there means that these horses are 3 years old, unlike in flat racing. And Coops, what are you going for?
Well, it was an interesting one. I mean, there are a few that you don't really know because one or two of them have run over hurdles and four of them are unbeaten. But there's an interesting one that's come over here from France called Irisanti. I was having a chat to the chap who trains Irisanti called DJ Jeffries. He likes a punt. So watch he confesses. I mean, racing is about betting. But he got this horse not for a song. 80,000 euros he paid from France. Trained by a man called Hugo Merien in France. And he met him at the sales. He said, I need a good jumper. Find me one. And when he came back and said, I found you one, and that is Irisanti. And he was telling me a couple of months ago, this would be her first run. She's a filly. And I think, she might be in too deep, but he obviously thinks a bit of her. She's 20 to 1. And I think, it's worth a bit of a splash each way, I reckon.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Obviously, we don't know anything apart from that.
But she's run in France. She's been placed 2 in 4 in France, so she knows how to jump. I mean, she's jumped before, which is
a lot of. Look, she's stoutly bred. She's actually an ex-German filly.
Yeah.
Which is always a good thing, I think. She's been there or thereabouts in all her runs. Yeah.
If it wasn't for her, another one that won in France has just joined Ollie Murphy and finished second the other day, is Static. People will look at the horses and think, Static's had plenty of chances. Well, he has had a few chances, but he's got the experience under his belt and he ran really well. last time. He got beaten a neck at Wetherby, but I think he could be. He's around about 13-2, 6-7-1, and I think that East India Doc's going to be favourite because James Owen seems to be. He won this race last year. That'll be. I think that'll be a false price East India Doc. Quite honestly.
Yeah, so obviously the transition from flat to jumps can bring anything out of these horses, and quite often horses rated lower on the flat end up doing well or better than horses that were technically better than them on the flat when they come jumping.
Yeah, he's probably the best ratings wise. He's rated 89 on the flat East India Doc. So on the flat, he's probably the best horse. He's already won. I mean, he's got an obvious chance, but I'd rather have something, Irisanti at 20-1 and Static at 7-1. I'd go against the favourite really, just for a bit of fun, bit of value.
Yeah, I'm not going to go against Irisanti or yours because I don't know anything, but I would be having a few teensy-weensy little each ways on Gavin Sheehan's mount, Motard, who comes over from
Gavin
Cromwell, and has won races, stays, not a bad run. And
14-1.
14-1, you're not going to do yourself any damage. Let's move to the next race.
Do you want to go on to the next one? It's pretty
yeah.
Our guest has.
We'll go on to the next one. So it's just me and you, Coops. I think the other guys are stuck in traffic or something. So we'll carry on recording and
carry on regardless.
Yeah, carry on regardless. Right. The 110 at Cheltenham. 3 miles, 1 furlong. South Africans, that is
a hell of a long way.
5,000 meters.
You get value for money in watching it anyway, as long as your horse is.
You certainly do.
I'm giving one more chance to Strictly a Dancer. I noted him a couple of runs ago. Trainer hasn't been in great form, Christian Williams, but he did have a winner a few days ago. And he ran really well 2 runs ago. He finished behind one of his rivals here, the newest one. Not sure the newest one can do it. He's a bit. He won nicely last time, but whether he can do it again, not so sure. Strictly a Dancer is definitely capable. He's better off at the weights, and at 10-1, I'd give that one a chance. But I like the newest one. He's a half brother to a really good horse called the New One. Do you remember him? He was a top.
I do remember that horse. Yeah.
But Strictly a Dancer, Christian Williams, very good trainer indeed. And I think he's about to strike form, actually.
Okay. And I think Transmission is 5-1, proper each way price.
Yep.
Neil Mulholland, Mullins riding it. Had a little
last time.
Yeah, had a little run round, ran second at Cheltenham, has had a sighter of the course. I would expect that this horse wouldn't be primed for tomorrow because, just again, I'm repeating myself for the South African viewers, everything is planning for March at the moment. So horses like this that are going to be running in handicaps in March, you want to bring them in at the right weight on the right day. There's a whole host of choices for these horses. So I wouldn't think Transmission would be 100%, but I think it will be there or thereabouts. And Transmission for me in the 110. In the 145, Robert?
In the 145, well, the third leg of my Yankee, I've gone Dubai on a Night Raider on the flat at Newcastle. And here, I'd be surprised if Loda Sood didn't win. Dan Skelton's horse, very good hurdler. Second in the Betfair hurdle at Newbury, which is one of the top handicap hurdles of the season. Second in the county hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. Made a winning start over fences at Stratford. A race he had to win, really. But I think he's got much more potential than many of these. He's only about 11-8, but I think as far as a Yankee goes, I think he's sort of a banker bet in the middle of it.
Yeah, Skelton, Sir Alex Ferguson, good form, around about 11-8, 6-5, as you say, and for me, will follow up. So this horse, I would think that he wouldn't be going down the handicap route.
No.
Cheltenham. So the more wins, the better. Let's get him going. And
Hobbs is coming.
Hobbs is coming. Yeah. Better late than never.
Yeah, like Christmas.
There he is.
Sorry, boys.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Makeup just took a little bit longer this morning, chaps. Apologies.
Tell the truth. You were in Greece watching the football.
They've done a fantastic job.
Doesn't look like it, does it? Have you seen the weather? No, that was it was a good result though last night. That was well done to Lee Carsley. Happy days.
Yeah.
I started talking about the football and Joe shut me up, so we don't want to talk about that anymore.
Let's move on then. How was Jamie? Did you have Jamie?
No.
Jamie says he will never do a podcast if you're not on. So
disappointed. Oh, right. Okay. He'll be on another time then, hopefully, yeah?
Yeah, listen. We've found loads of winners already, to be fair.
Good.
We're just wrapping this race up. And Coops,
carry on.
The suit.
I think that would be it's a short price, but that would be the nap of the day already.
That'll win tomorrow. My nap as well. Best bet of the day. That'll win tomorrow, and it'll arrive at Cheltenham having won 3 or 4 on the bounce.
Yeah.
And be a popular choice for one of those chasers.
Lead over No Risk Day Flow in second place, the 14th and final fence. Low Du Sud comes into it and measures it well. Is clear by 5 lengths to No Risk Day Flow in second place and coasting up towards the line here. This will be just what the doctor ordered. First time out over fences. Low Du Sud wins in imperious fashion. Second goes to No Risk Day Flow.
Jonathan, jump in quickly. How are the dogs looking?
Dogs are looking pretty good. Is Edward Stone running tomorrow? I just want a quick question.
Today.
Is it today? Right, today. Excellent. Okay. Should I be back in it, guys, before we talk dogs?
John Bond is odds on to win. John Bond can throw in the odd dodgy run, but Edward Stone, if he's fully primed, he's a reliable horse. He could run really well. But I think John Bond should win that.
He's one of my favourite horses, would you believe? So
really?
Go. So I saw he was running at Cheltenham. Didn't know it was today or tomorrow, but there you go. So I've just seen a price around 11 to 2. So there you go.
Yeah,
that's good enough for me. Right, dogs. I mean, it's a bit of a crazy time at the moment. I mean, I think next week's going to be even crazier, really. It's the Boyle Sports Irish Greyhound Derby semi-finals at Shelbourne Park, Dublin tomorrow. But in terms of the UK action, it kicks off tonight. 20 grand to the winner of the Premier Greyhound Racing Classic up at Sunderland. So focus certainly in the UK very much on the northeast. Plenty of stories there. I think in terms of a winner, which I'm sure you're going to ask me, Joe. I'm just going to go with a greyhound by the name of Brindle Bully, running out of trap 6. There's 1 or 2 links. He's trained by David Mullins, who has got his brother running in the semi-finals of the Irish Derby, March on Freddie. So it could be one of these fantastic 48 hours. They just want to qualify Freddie at Shelbourne Park. They might just go into that having won the Classic up at Sunderland. Won't be easy. I think race time, just checking the race time this evening. I think it's just before 9:15 this evening at Sunderland. In fact, 9:14. Yeah, so big race of the night, no question. The PGR Classic final. Bramble Linton in trap 1 for Steve Anderson, looking to almost break a Category 1 duck for Steve. He must have had about 25 finalists in big races. He's got to nail one. He wants to nail one. Linton's got an excellent chance if leading. Fire and Ice for Matt Dartnell. Terry Dartnell, of course, used to have a box at Cheltenham. I don't think he has every year now, but he used to have that every single year. Terry's absolutely loves his horses as well. Fire and Ice should go well for those guys. Culavani Mercy in trap 5. That's the big story. There won't be a dry eye in the house if this one was to land the spoils. The story for Angela Harrison, former trainer. Angela's partner Jimmy Wright suffers from MND, so obviously our best wishes go to Jimmy and Angela, and they'll be watching from home this evening, and hopefully Culavani Mercy goes well for them. But Brindle Bully, I just think he's got a great draw in trap 6, Joe, and can hit them for 6.
Perfect. Coops, let's do the 220 quickly. Because
yeah, well, that's who our guest was going to be with Jamie Snowden, because I fancy.
yeah, he's trying to log in. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's in. He's in.
Fantastic.
He's in.
This is perfect timing, isn't it?
Like, I mean,
There he is.
There he is.
Jamie, hello.
God, that took some effort.
This is like dealing with Elon Musk. That's perfect timing.
It's perfect time because we're just coming onto the Paddy Power Gold Cup, and Galore of yours, who won it a couple of years ago, he's one of the favourites tomorrow. And everything, I mean, you know, ground conditions and everything, he's in good form. He ran very well when he was second the other day at Chepstow. So tell us a bit more about him.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. Obviously, he won this race a couple of years ago as a 6-year-old, off a mark of 140. He's off a mark of 155 this time round. But amazingly enough, last time he won it, he was carrying 11 stone. He's carrying only 11 stone 2 this time. Protectorat's keeping the weights down a bit. So he's in great order. He's in the prime of his life, and yeah, listen, we go there with full of optimism.
And your horses are in, I mean, I'm touching wood and fingers crossed and all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's hard to kick you out of the first 2 at the moment, isn't it?
Well, that's very kind. It's been a good run of things. Unfortunately, one got away the other day, but that's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it?
But do you see this as I mean, this is probably, I mean, a tougher task than it was a couple of years ago, or just about the same? Or, I mean, what do you think of the opposition? Everyone's gone wild about the Ginny's Destiny of Paul Nicholls, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think you never get a week renewal of the Paddy Power, do you? It's a very competitive renewal, but as I say, we're carrying £15 more than we did a couple of years ago. But as an 8-year-old, he should be that little bit stronger and better than he was as a 6-year-old. So listen, we couldn't be happy with our lad. He goes there in great form. As you say, the form of the yard is going well. So we're full of confidence.
Gold Cup, and it's Storm Control who's trying to lead it out from French Dynamite. Il Rodotto moves up to the outside, the blue cap in third, then Garlaw. Simply the vets in there pitching to the inside as they turn the way towards home. French Dynamite now looms up on turns with Storm Control at 2 out. French Dynamite landed in the lead from Storm Control in second. Il Rodotto back in third, then Garlaw. Here's the final fence. French Dynamite made a small mistake. Garlaw now tries to get on turns. Back in third, Il Rodotto, then Midnight River. Garlaw got level with French Dynamite on the run towards the line. French Dynamite is digging in. Garlaw to the outside, trying to wear him down. Garlaw's going to get up. Garlaw has won the Paddy Power Gold Cup.
And this, in a normal year, I mean, this can be a pretty wet month, but it hasn't rained for weeks in the UK. And that's probably in your favour, isn't it?
He does go on nicer ground, yeah. It has to be said. He's better in the spring and better in the autumn. He perhaps is not quite so good in the depths of the winter. Having said that, he won a decent handicap at Cheltenham in January, but it was decent or better ground that day. So yeah, he does look like he's better on nicer ground.
Absolutely. Have you got a runner in the bumper tomorrow as well, haven't you?
We do have Audacious Annie. She's a very nice mare, Robert. She's a sister to You Wear It Well, who, as you know, is a Cheltenham Festival winner for us and a dual Grade 2 winner. She won a bumper on debut at Wetherby, but came up short in a listed contest last year at Market Raisin, but she came back lame from that. So we can forgive her that start. She's a nice mare and she looks good.
Okay.
She's 2 to 1. I was looking at her earlier. Sorry to interrupt, but I like it when stables are hitting 38%, Robert. So there's I don't know if it applies over here, but in South Africa they say that they could even send out the stable cat and that would win. I wouldn't dissuade anyone from having a little each way double on the 2. And if you're run second, you're getting profit, right?
This is the first big sort of whopping big handicap of the winter, isn't it? And you've got in a couple of weeks' time, Jamie. There's the old Hennessy Gold Cup, which is the Coral. What's it called? The Coral Gold Trophy now, something like that. You've got Colonel Harry, who's again a horse with plenty of potential. I mean, he could run really well in that, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think he's favoured at the moment. He sort of fits into a similar profile to That's Right Gino, who won it last year for us. He was a Grade 2 winner as a novice chaser. He's had a prep run where he ran very well to finish second.
up at Carlisle, and he comes here off a similar kind of mark to That's Right Gino did, and he's very unexposed over this trip. If he stays, then hopefully there's a bit of mileage off his handicap mark.
And you'd like a bit of rain for him, though, probably, wouldn't you?
He would want softer ground.
Jamie, I met you a couple of years ago. What's been the big kick on them?
Can I answer that? Am I allowed to answer that?
Yeah.
Jamie and I have never met, but we've shared the same platform on Three Valleys Radio, Jamie. I don't know if you remember a couple of years back. I know you were a regular on there. And I think since then, your trajectory just went upwards. Now, part of the Hunters podcast, I think we're looking at the next, champion trainer, folks, because there's got to be a link somewhere, Jamie.
Is it okay? So I've always believed that when stables form a really good relationship with the jockey, that helps 8% or 10%. Is she one of the things?
Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. Gavin's obviously been a big part of our lives for a few years now, and really, the form of the horses has been brilliant over the last 4, 5, 6 years. We've been lucky enough that we bettered our previous best season with each coming season, and I think the link with Gavin is huge. We've got a wonderful bunch of very loyal owners who thankfully been reinvesting into nice young horses, and we've got a system in place for the young horses coming up through the ranks. So do you want to crack on? I'll catch up with you. Thanks, Kate. We've got a system in place with nice young horses coming up through the ranks, and the other thing to mention is a very cool bunch of loyal, brilliant staff that have been with us for a long time. So I think, like all of these things, you probably can't point it to one specific thing. It's probably a combination of all of the above, and obviously Three Valleys radio station obviously being top of the list.
Fantastic. But it does boil down to consistency, right? So, Robert, because Gavin's riding 85% of the horses, you're sort of not thinking about that anymore. He knows the horses better and better because you've got the same staff doing consistency, loyalty. It all transforms into success, and definitely a stable to follow, 100%. Hey, Cooper, what do you think?
I completely agree. I mean, how can I disagree with him there in the little box on the bottom right-hand corner? But I think Gavin Sheehan's always been a very, very good jockey, a Cheltenham festival winning jockey. But I think, Jamie, he's got better and better over the last couple of years. He's a very good, he just seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's a top-notch jockey nowadays.
Yeah, you'd like to hope that whatever profession you're in, the longer you do it, with the support around you, you'd like to hope that you get better. It doesn't matter what you do, if you do it consistently and repetitively. You'd like to hope that you live and you learn and you get better as we all make mistakes, but you live and you learn from them and you get better accordingly. So, I would like to hope that I'm a better trainer than I was 5 years ago, and likewise 5 years before that.
Sorry, so where's English football going wrong then?
Unfortunately, what was it? 3-0 last night, was it? We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yep. Hey, listen.
And Arsenal are going to win the league this year.
Are you an Arsenal supporter?
We will win the league.
Oh, that's awesome.
They were disappointing on Sunday against Chelsea, though, weren't they?
Every now and again you can have the odd disappointment, but we get that. It's like racing. We can lose the odd little race that we should win, but ultimately we come out on top.
So you're not giving up.
You sound like a trainer.
Yeah, despite Neto sort of getting that wonderful equaliser. You could have won it in the last minute, though, Jamie. Fair play.
Yeah, listen, I'm a Tottenham supporter, so I've got really nothing to say.
Wow, is that like that at the moment?
I support Oxford United.
Hey,
so
at least we've got the best stadium in the country.
Well,
Jamie, you missed something earlier, so I'd like to know where you are on this. I'm not going to tell you what we've decided, and I know you're pressed for time, but I'm going to hint at what Robert and I have decided. But I'll ask you for your opinion. Like, where do you stand on the absolute absurd madness ridiculous.
Don't give anything away, will you?
500 grand for the jockeys.
This jockeys thing, this new jockeys thing on ITV. Yeah, I mean, I do. Listen, it's a tricky one because I
get it.
Jockeys ultimately are nothing without their horses, and the horses are nothing without their owners and their trainers and the yard behind them. So it's a team game, racing. It really is. I do think that there needs to be more money in the game, and therefore we can't shy away from the fact that if people are willing to put money into the game, that's got to be a positive step forward. Whether it should all be focused in on just the jockeys it is a different question, I think. But we can't. If somebody's willing to put money in, we've got to applaud them.
We've got to take it.
We've got to take it. But maybe it could be distributed in a slightly different manner than just jockeys winning races on ITV.
But the idea is to bring more people, bring awareness to more people to racing. I don't think it's going to achieve that, is it?
I don't know what is going to achieve that, Robert. But we can't. We can't.
The goal is to get more people to racing. They could take £1 off every pint at Cheltenham next year.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a bit of a controversial one, but I'll tell you where Robert and I mostly sat on the same thing here is I'd rather give the 500 grand to 15 videographers and let them go around the country telling stories about horses.
Do you know, Joe, I think a good point, because obviously the film The Champions obviously came out, or that program came out last year, and it was very good, and anything that can publicise the sport in a good manner is got to be applauded. But I do think one thing that they didn't necessarily do that a lot of people probably want is show the inside stories of, a girl that gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning to feed her horse and look after her horse and love her horse and nurse it back from an injury that it might have had, to then see that girl or lad, the pleasure that they get when that horse wins and getting it back at 10 o'clock at night and putting a rug on it and giving it a carrot. And it's a very human touch that perhaps the public don't see.
Correct. So that's our point, I think, because if, getting back to football, if Qatar all of a sudden gave 200 trillion to the team that won the Premier League, it would mean nothing to us Tottenham supporters. So the 500 grand really doesn't apply to 90% of the guys.
No, and I suppose it's making the best jockeys wealthier, perhaps.
Which is okay. Nothing wrong with being wealthy.
Is it? No, not about making. Are they trying to make bigger stars of the jockeys involved? Do you think there's a story there? How much money it gets projected, and perhaps I think that's names, and that's got to be part of it.
I think that's right, and they are perhaps trying to make stars of the jockeys, but there is a risk in all sports of making too many stars out of these. They're jockeys, they're not film stars. And sometimes if they sometimes too much of an ego goes to someone's head, and perhaps they lose sight of actually riding horses, which is what they do.
Jamie, is there anything else you like at Cheltenham tomorrow that you've seen run recently that you think, oh, I like that one?
To be quite honest with you, Joe, I haven't been through the rest of the card. I concentrate on my horses, really.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, Jamie, thanks for that. We'll all shout your horses home tomorrow.
Yeah, that's very kind, Joe.
Thank you very much for everything you do, and keep up the good work and the fantastic statistics. Do you agree, Sir Robert?
I absolutely agree, and I like his optimism about Arsenal as well.
Listen, I train racehorses. I'm an optimist.
I had a season spent. I backed Arsenal to finish above Manchester City, so I'm a bit worried about that. But now you've given me a bit of confidence.
We're dreamers.
Good. Thank you, Jamie.
Take care, everyone. All the best. Bye-bye.
Robert, isn't he just lovely and a great trainer? And again, South Africans that are watching, anybody that's watching this, follow that stable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like that. Yeah.
Very successful. Came on. And I think let's hope he wins the big race tomorrow, because I think he's got him down on my list. He's not in my Yankee,
No. Well, you can take a Super Yankee. Jonathan, give us another dog or two.
Yeah, look, I've just written quite a few down, but I'll pick out the best three and email them to you just to say, I think in the Boyle Sports Irish Grand Derby semi-finals, I've already given you Brindle Bully perhaps as the winner of the big Sunderland race. I kind of feel that Bocco's Diamond Track Record Breaker probably wins his semi-final, and the second semi-final, albeit the heart is definitely with the UK challenger March on Freddie. I just feel the Boyle Sports Bob running out of trap 5 for Paul Hennessy and John Boyle and Ned Murphy. I think he's just going to be so difficult to keep out the frame. So they'll probably be the two at Shelbourne Park. A couple, in fact, I'll throw a few names at you very quickly at Monmore. Pavilion Team in the 722 for Mark Wallace in the sprint. Creed Jojo of Richie Taberners in the 756, another sprint heat. Then Gemma Evans' Millbank Boiler in the 904. And then Mad for Serling, another one for Mark in the 923.
Challenging my speed rating.
We'll put it all out. We'll put it all out.
I'll send a note out, and just for greyhound fans out there, the semi-finals. What else is there? Semi-finals of the English Puppy Derby at Toaster on SIS on Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening's a great card. There's a great link. I mean, you know, Bob, you must know John Humphreys. John Humphreys, legendary.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. He turned 86 a couple of days ago. He's a former sponsor of the Gold Collar. Used to be at Catford. Now it's at Crayford. Sponsored by another, big greyhound man in Carl Brazier these days. But I spoke to John a couple of days back. He's in great form and. Yeah, still follows his horses. Not so much his dogs as much as he perhaps used to do, but he still loves both codes.
Last week you were talking about Tommy White, who had that terrible accident.
Yeah.
I was just reading because an email came through. I mean, they've raised getting on for 60 grand for him, which is fantastic. But apparently, there's improvement during the week. But he can move in and out of his wheelchair, which is quite good. So just becoming, that extra bit of mobility would make the whole difference to his life.
Extraordinary, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the dogs won for them at the weekend on Saturday. So we spoke about the GoFundMe page for Tommy White, son of Sean White, the trainer. And then Sean or the family's dogs won at Oxford on Saturday. There's a great picture. I've got to get out there actually from the presentation podium at Oxford with a couple of Tommy's mates there as well, sort of picking up the trophy and of course, no doubt, just talking down the camera to Tommy. So yeah, absolutely. And it's creeping up all the time, which is heartening. So thanks, Bob. Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Robert, should we jump to the 255?
Yes, this is the last leg of my fantastic Yankee Saturday.
Go on.
Skelton again, I'm afraid. I mean, if it's going to win, it's going to win. A horse called Doyen Quest, who won at Cheltenham back in April. It was not the big March meeting, but they have a meeting in April, which is still pretty high grade. And he ran a really good race in the big race at Chepstow last month for Silver Trophy, big field. Ran a cracking race, and I think probably that would put the edge on him. I think the idea is to win tomorrow. It's a valuable race tomorrow. And Doyen Quest, 3-1, I think is a decent price.
I'm going against you with Noble Birth, but I hope your Yankee's in, to be honest with you.
He's been Gavin Cromwell you've gone for. He's been chasing, coming back to hurdles.
Yeah, I like that switch personally. Yep. So 8-1. Hopefully he'll go 10-1 tomorrow. And I'll do a few little each ways, and that'll do me just fine. And I might just take a couple of forecasts or reverse forecasts with Doyen Quest, who I do think's a big runner, but Noble Birth for me. Right, the 330. You've now caught the Yankee.
I've done the Yankee. I thought that
you've caught the Yankee. Are you in the vehicle on the way home, or are you now going to try and double up?
It's always worth trying to double up, isn't it?
Have a go then. Why not?
The word is try. I think I'm not going to double up in the 330. But if you double up here, you're going to do well because they're going about 5-1 the field.
They are.
Yeah, I think it looks absolutely impossible. Tony Martin, who is a bit of a rogue, isn't he? He won the race a couple of years ago. Irish trainer. Hamsayan is his horse, who ran well first time in a handicap at Ascot in March. I don't know, that jumped off the page, but I don't know whether I'd be having too much on him. But I think that's my idea of the winner.
And I like Why Not.
Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah. Henry Davies and Tristan Davis, a very consistent horse, and probably a horse that sits in between handicap and maybe just kicking on to slightly better things. So I think
won in a big
learn a lot from Why Not.
Yeah, he won here last time, didn't he?
Yeah. I think we'll learn a lot from Why Not, and I think we'll learn where they're going to campaign him in March.
Yeah.
I think he's a horse, or she, I beg your pardon, she's a horse that has only really finished out the money once in her career. And yeah, I really like this horse.
Okay, I'm not really involved, so I'll leave that one to you.
Yeah, I really like this horse. Okay, let's finish on the 4 o'clock.
The bumper.
I'm aware of.
I mean, Willie Mullins usually farms these sort of races. He's got Corinthia, who's won a couple of races. But, Jamie was talking about Audacious Annie, around about 18, 20 to 1. Could run okay.
Yeah, so here we've got a Mares Open National Hunt flat race. It is a listed race. And this is for younger mares and this is, even though it's at Cheltenham, it is a flat race, guys, for those that are that do follow racing from elsewhere but don't know exactly what that is. So these flat races are normally for horses that are coming on to eventually go over hurdles and eventually go over.
Yeah, it's a good starting point. They've been having years and years in Ireland, and they've become very popular over here. And Willie Mullins won this race last year. He's got an enormous armory of good horses. And Corinthia,
yeah, and they haven't stopped. She opened up 9 to 4. She's into 15 to 8. Yeah. She's won 2 out of 2. She's only a 4-year-old, and again, I wouldn't have thought she was his leading light. But like you say, when you've got 300 horses in your yard, then she's just got to be there. Again, this isn't a race to get overly involved with, in my opinion.
No, and it's nearly dark at 4 o'clock now.
Yeah, that is true. Jonathan, is there anything else on your side on the dogs?
What else is there? Nottingham on Monday. We have the semi-finals of the Premier Greyhound Racing Eclipse, and of course that means that we are a week away, just over a week away from a Gone to the Dogs live broadcast from Nottingham. So
oh, fantastic!
Absolutely, we're back on YouTube again Monday week, 25th of November. All 12 races produced by our good friend Dermot Comiskey, and yeah, looking forward to that. I know he's at Cheltenham this weekend, so he's busy there, but we'll be talking all things Nottingham next week, so really excited about that. But semi-finals actually on Monday night.
That's really good. That's really, really good.
I just noticed the horse that I've got a share of, Bel Carmo, has got 7 rivals when he runs at Fontwell on Sunday. It's a 3-year-old hurdle. Runs him a 240 at Fontwell, a 3-year-old hurdle. So he could run well. He's a good horse on the flat for Andrew Balding. We bought him. He had a run on the flat at Southwell the other day on the all-weather. Ran pretty well. So we'll see whether he can jump tomorrow, on Sunday rather.
Are you going?
Fantastic. So take a double with Robert's horse on Sunday.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of a football tip.
Go on then.
So my last one came in, and I think this one will do very, very well. You could look at this as a straight bet or a back to trade, because I think you will be able to trade at some point. But as far as countries are concerned at the moment in football, there are no 2 worse countries playing football than Israel and Belgium. Israel drew with France last night.
It's not a bad result.
Well, obviously they parked the bus, and Belgium lost. Belgium can't score goals at the moment. If you can get 2 to 1 the draw for this game, I'm almost certain you'll be laying back at even money at some point if you want, or suffering the last 5 minutes. But I think the draw is a really good bet in that game.
When is that? Tomorrow?
Sunday.
Monday. Good.
And that's it, gents. Another one done.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck.
Take care.
Good luck to our viewers.
Good luck Sunday, Bob.
Good luck with the Yankee, Bob. Send it through so we can put it up for everyone.
Okay, I'll do that.
Cheers, bye.